Hey guys, it's Glenn from glenscarcollection.com, and today we're going to talk about when you should trade in your car. Remember, if you like these kind of videos, give them a thumbs up and I'll make more. Hit the notification bell and subscribe to our channel. We post 3 videos a week every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Like and share these videos so our channel can grow, and as always, leave a positive comment below. All right, so should you trade your car or sell it privately? That's always a big question. I've owned about 100 cars. I lost track at 100, so it's over 100 now. And I would say 90% of the time I sell the car myself, because 90% of the time I have a good car. I'm usually very diligent in picking out the car, so most likely I keep the, pick a good car that's easy to sell. And obviously, even if you have the best car in the world, a dealer needs to make a profit. They need to buy their cars at wholesale and sell it at retail. So if your car was worth $30,000, you're going to get 23 or 24,000 on your trade-in, but you could probably sell that car privately for 28,000. Maybe the dealer will get 30, 31, 32 because they can take a trade-in, offer financing, but you could usually get 4 or 5,000 more than your trade-in value. So one way to stop is go to a dealer, get a trade-in value. There are also calculators online. A lot of them are a little optimistic. Kelley Blue Book, KBB.com. May tell you your car's worth 28,000. You go to a dealer and they're going to give you 24,000. So the best way to go to a dealer and see what it would be to buy your car straight up without you buying another car. Because some dealers, if they know you're a trade-in buyer, they try to size you up when you go to a dealership. Are you care about the price of the new car, or you care about your trade-in? So you tell the dealer, all right, everybody's giving me $24,000 for my car. I really want 28. Maybe they'll give you 26 or 27, but then they're going to charge you full price on the new car. So you're always really negotiating the net difference in the car, and I'll do videos on how to negotiate that. But typically I will sell my car myself as long as it's a good car. So if I know something's wrong with the car, like something's going on it, and that's why I'm getting rid of it, then I'll just trade it in. Then the dealer you're trading it to has all that liability, not you. You don't want to sell a bad car to somebody and then screw them. That's not fair. And I would never want somebody to do that to me. So treat others the way you want you to treat them. So I would just trade in my car. If the dealership knows that the car is bad for whatever reason, and they will, they probably know more than you do about the car, they're just going to wholesale it. So that's one way to not worry about it. I'll tell you a second reason when I trade in cars is that there's really no market for it. So if you need to get rid of your sports car in the middle of winter, sometimes you have to trade it in because there's going to be no buyers coming on your door. Sometimes if you have a high-end car, like an exotic car, people are just going to come for test drives. They're not going to have the money, especially if it's a used car. It's going to be much harder to get financing, so maybe you want to trade it. Now, say like a car like my NSX, my first NSX, I sold privately because a dealer is going to lowball you on the offer. They're not going to give you what they're really worth. You're a private party, you've owned the car, you've maintained it highly, you have all the service records. You might even be able to get more than the dealer does because they may just take that car in a trade-in and not know the history. Now, I'll tell you, for my 2 AMGs, that depreciate like a rock, by the way, I traded them in. So I traded my CLA 45 AMG, that car I bought new. I traded that in for my M2 because I kind of had priced it. I didn't really get any offers, and I priced it pretty close to trade-in value. So here in New Jersey, and your state may be different, you only pay sales tax on the difference between the new or used car you're buying and your trade-in. So if you buy a car for $50,000 and you trade in a car for $30,000, you only pay sales tax on 20 instead of 50. So in that example, that extra 20,000 you would save at, let's just say, a 7% sales tax. New Jersey, we're 6.625. You would save $1,400. So if you feel that's close to what you would get with the car, say and that's not what I got. I got a lot more for my CLA 45 because it was still a newer car and still a desirable car. But say your car's worth $30,000, you think you're going to sell it at $28,000, $29,000, and you can get close to that trade-in value at a dealership. Say you can get $27,000 at a dealership with that $1,400, or it's going to be less than that now. You're going to be in that 28-something thousand, and the most you think you can get for yourself for $29,000. Trade it in. Why have the hassle for $500, $1,000, $1,500, and then you can get your new car right then. You trade in, it's all over with. Because even if you keep that car and have to sell it, you're paying insurance on it. You're still probably going to have to maintain that car. You're probably going to want to do a fresh oil change if it's around the time you're selling it. And, if something breaks, now you're really screwed because you're going to have to fix that to sell it. Or you need a set of tires, front brakes, something like that, battery. So there's all kinds of expenses that could happen. So that may be a good way to trade in your car, and then you have no liability. You don't have to worry about more expenses. So that's really what you should decide. If you've never sold a car privately before, it can be frustrating. It can be a pain in the ass. Sometimes you'll get a lot of buyers for the car, and sometimes you get people that they really want to buy the car, but maybe their significant other, like their wife or whatever, won't let them buy that. I've had that happen all the time. I'll list a car for sale. The guy will come with his wife, and I think he's trying to convince his wife to let him get it. And then they wind up buying an SUV instead of a stick shift sports car. Well, you know, you kind of wasted everybody's time. You probably weren't going to be able to convince them to do it. And now, you know, I took time out of my day. You took time out of your day. So a lot of times you get that. And a lot of times I sell cars to people and they really can't drive stick. I'm surprised how many people bought my stick shift cars and have trouble getting home because they've never driven stick before. They're just not good at driving stick. But that's a different video. But so those are things you should consider. All right, guys, if you think you have a clean car to sell, then sell it yourself. You'll definitely get more money for it. You'll probably get 10 to 20% more at least for the car. If your car has issues, or you just don't think there's a strong market for your car, like on my AMGs, like nobody wanted, believe it or not, a CLA or a GLA, especially the GLA 45. Mercedes markets that as like a small SUV when it's not. The AMG version is really a hot hatch that I think competes with the Focus RS, the Golf Type R. It's really, to me, a Mitsubishi Evo that has a nice interior because it's got the high boost like that. And I think they drive a little similar too from driving Evos. And I think they're both phenomenal cars, but it's like a grown-up Evo. Maybe you can't go to work if you're wearing a suit and a tie with a big wing on the back and the cheap Mitsubishi interior. But you can tell your friends at work that the GLA 45 is just a crossover or a CUV, and they'll love it. They'll think you're a genius for buying that car. But and that engine is to die for. I do miss that engine. And so that's, I think, the gist of it, that if you think there's no market for your car or it has problems, trade it in. And just shop around for trade-in. Dealers give you sometimes huge differences because it depends what they're selling you, etc. And start with just going to the dealer as your make of the car. So if you have an AMG to trade in, don't go to your local BMW dealer, go to the Mercedes dealer. Because if you wholesale that car or traded it in for a new BMW, that dealership is probably not going to sell on their lot. It's probably eventually going to get it to the Mercedes dealer. So go right to the Mercedes dealer. Same thing if you have a BMW. Don't trade it in at the Subaru dealer. Go right to BMW. Because if you trade it somewhere and it doesn't fit their criteria, like say maybe a Porsche dealer or something, they're just going to wholesale it to somebody, and that wholesaler is going to sell it to the BMW dealer. So just go right to BMW, and that'll give you the most for your trade-in. I hope this video was helpful. If you like these kind of videos, give it a thumbs up. Leave your comments and thoughts about what I said in the comments below. Remember to subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell. We post 3 videos a week, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 a.m. But you don't need to worry about that. If you hit the notification bell, you get a notification every time I post a video. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.